Hello, everybody. This is Jules Levin. I want to open my brief comments and for the opening of the aging workshop to bring your attention to this table from the CDC, which of note is from 2015. And focus on the red bars on the right, and you'll see that 450,000 people are over 55 right now in the United States. Of note, 70,000 people are now over 70 and 150,000 people over 65. What this shows is really the aging elderly population in the United States. And as time marches on, these numbers will increase, the percentages will increase, and people who are becoming elderly with HIV, this is our first generation of elderly people aging with HIV. And we're facing a very serious problem. I call this an explosive problem because it's not getting the attention it needs. And I would essentially say that it's not getting any attention. I've been talking for the past several years with local, state, and federal officials, and I find them unresponsive to the problem. The problem, as I see it, is that we need an HIV care infrastructure that needs to be overhauled, that meets the needs for the care and services for the increasingly aging population, which it's not 50%. The general discussion is, oh, well, 50% of people with HIV are over 50. As you can see, when you look at it in more detail, a high percentage of people, 30, 40, 50, 60%, are aging over 50, over 60, and over 70. And soon we're going to have many people over 65 suffering from the double hit of aging, the double hit of the effects of HIV and the normal immunosenescence that all aging people experience. So people with HIV are experiencing 2 to 5 numbers of comorbidities compared to similarly aged HIV negative people, including all the usual comorbidities that people with aging experience: cardiovascular disease, kidney disease, bone disease and fractures, and frailty, cognitive impairment, cancers, physical impairments. We need a care infrastructure that meets the needs of our growing elderly HIV population. And an important note was at CROI this year, a study from Kaiser finding a 9-year difference in reduced mortality for older people, for people living with HIV compared to HIV negative people. That's a 9-year mortality reduction for people living with HIV. Not to mention the quality of life for these elderly folks suffering from multiple comorbidities is horrible. I can tell you from personal experience here in New York, due to the evolving changes in insurance reimbursement and the restrictions in reimbursement to large and small hospital HIV clinics, these clinics are increasingly restricting time for medical visits to 15 to 20 minutes for people living with HIV and their doctors. It's impossible to provide the care and the services people living with HIV need in a 20-minute visit. Something has to change. And I see no movement from local, state, and federal officials on this issue. So for the first time, due to having a virtual meeting, so many community people are now tuning in and have registered to participate in the only aging workshop, our aging workshop. And I wanted to frame the discussion during this workshop for you folks to focus on this particular issue and to keep in mind as we go through the next day to 2 discussions during the aging workshop. We need a change in care and services. We also need better research that meets the needs of elderly people living with HIV. Research that finds real-world solutions for our health concerns and quality of life concerns. Thanks for tuning in.